shows that our problems are similar to our unexpected, and this is frequently that.
Hi everyone. So, today I'd like to pose you with a question. What if you were stranded on an island? But conveniently enough, you could bring 3 things with you. What would those 3 things be? I vividly remember being handed a worksheet with this exact question on it. There was even a little island image in the bottom left corner. At the ripe age of 9, I could clearly distinguish between the things that were needed for my survival and the things that maybe weren't as necessary. The 3 things that I chose to bring were a box of matches, a bed, and my sister. At that time, I thought that those were amazing options. I could last at least 3 days in the wild, no sweat. But now, maybe not so much. However, what if you were stranded on an island and you couldn't bring anything? What would be the things that you would look for first? Well, there are many things that the average human needs to survive, regardless of who you are or how high maintenance you may be. To start, let's name a few. Water, food, shelter, air. Quick thinking and quick feet may also be argued as well, since survival does come down to more than just physical needs. But beyond the tangible and the practical, there's one more thing that I'd like to add: the ability to wonder. Because what if, in the midst of all the jungles, in the midst of the unknown, you asked a question that could change everything? When I was younger, I used to ask so many questions that the people around me would get annoyed. Why is the sky blue? Why does coffee taste bitter? Why do I have to go to swim practice today? And I'm sure the parents in the room have felt the same. Why does my child ask so many questions? Well, science does state that children ask about 107 questions per day on average. And if you think about it, questions are at the heart of everything that we know. They reimagine our world in ways that we never thought were possible. Imagine if the ancient people in the 1600s looked at this auditorium right now. What would they think? They would be absolutely flabbergasted. Throughout history, curiosity has been the foundation of discovery and progress. It pushes us to ask questions and to consequently seek answers to complement them. So I want to ask you this first. What does curiosity mean to you? And what questions have led you to discover something new or to change your way of thinking? Because it's in that drive to discover that questions mark our world. In the Cambridge Dictionary, the word curiosity is defined as an eager wish to know more about something. Yet, no offense to Cambridge, this definition feels a bit limiting, maybe even oversimplified. You see, curiosity isn't just an eager wish. It's more of a natural instinct to push beyond these borders of the unknown, to ask things that no one else has asked, or to discover things that you never knew were possible. So psychologist Daniel Berlin broke this down into 4 main types: perceptual, epistemic, diversive, and specific. So let's get into those right now. Perceptual curiosity is triggered by new or unusual stimuli. It's your instinctive, "What's that?" response when you see something new or interesting. So let's look at this scenario. You're on the bus on the way home. You look to your left and you see this strange colorful bug sitting there next to you, like a passenger. You can't help but stop and stare. It was unlike anything you'd ever seen before. Why was it so colorful? That scenario is pure perceptual curiosity in action, driven by the novelty of sight. Next, epistemic curiosity. Epistemic curiosity is deeper. It's the type of curiosity that helps us solve complex problems or even look at multifaceted ideas. It may look like delving into the world of a new language, learning the culture and the traditions behind it, or even just looking into Wikipedia, diving into that rabbit hole in search of just some information about a topic that you really want to get to the bottom of. Lastly, specific diversity. So, specific curiosity is a curiosity that is more about finding a certain answer. It's about you reaching a certain solution that you know you want to get to. So it might look like solving a math equation. You're trying to get to the solution, whether it's simple or complex, but you know you just have to get it. And lastly, diversive curiosity. Diversive curiosity is the type that I find myself most engaging with. Has anyone here ever been bored in a classroom? I'm assuming the answer is yes. And when you're bored, you look for things to do, and you just start going off topic, taking things out of your bag, or maybe even just flipping through pages of the textbook, looking for something interesting to read. That's diversive curiosity. It's more about finding something interesting along the way, rather than actually having a specific goal in mind. Curiosity is everywhere. It's the spark behind everything, from tiny personal discoveries to huge world-changing breakthroughs. But it's not just the huge names, like Marie Curie or Einstein, contributing to this progress. It's all of us. Every time you ask these questions, what if? Why not? What is that? Or how did that happen? You're tapping into the 4 types of curiosity and contributing to this endless cycle of discovery. Even if it's a why is the sky blue moment, or a discovery of your own personal change, curiosity has this incredible way of shaping our world. And every invention starts with a question. Every realization, every idea, it starts with someone being curious. For example, what if we were to land the first people on the moon? Boom, a whole space race, and rocket technology. How can we connect people from all across the world? Hello, Internet. And now, with just the click of a simple button, you can access all of humanity's knowledge in just a matter of seconds. But you don't have to look far to find examples in your own lives. Every time you pick up a new instrument, you learn a new language, or you dive into a subject that you know nothing about, you're tapping in to this realm of curiosity, and you're contributing to the cycle. And when you think about it, some inventions just came from people asking questions that no one else thought to ask. So we all have that power to ask that next big question. And who knows, maybe the next moon landing could start with just a simple what if from one of you. Now, I want to rewind back to the story of my painfully inquisitive younger self. I realized that the older I got, the more that I loved chasing these answers, the more that I loved spending time Googling things or lining up behind the teacher's desk waiting to ask them questions about content in class. But as I realized this, something else also started sprouting, a fear. What if this question is stupid? What if everyone knows the answer, except for me? What if this question is not worth asking? And that fear made me hold back more than once. But then I realized it takes courage to ask questions. It takes courage to admit that you don't know something or to challenge the status quo. Whether it's talking in a classroom, speaking up about something you feel is unjust, or even just sharing your interest in something that is considered unconventional or taboo, curiosity has this way of weaving its way into our own lives. So, I want to ask you this. Please think about a question that you've always wondered but never explored. And take one step today and be courageous to explore that question. Maybe you're taking a small step. Maybe you're Googling something or asking a friend or even starting a project to dive deeper. Every discovery begins with someone daring to ask. And the truth is, courage to be curious is not about being brave enough to ask a question. It's about being curious enough to do so anyway. At its core, every discovery begins with a question and the courage to ask it. So why not take that first step? and see where it takes you. Thank you.